as you guys already saw from the title, this is What If Deku Was Meliodas? To the one guy who suggested what if Deku was a conduit, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to hold that off a bit. I am gonna get it out, but I went ahead and recorded it before this one, but the recording messed up with Mobizen, and, or just me forgetting to turn on my mic, and I completely forgot about the mic thing, honestly. So you're gonna have to wait a bit for that. I should have it out by Wednesday, hopefully. I'm also gonna do this thing after I get done with all my other series. Is like maybe like when I have nothing to do, I'll probably ask for your guys' what if suggestions. Now, speaking of what if suggestions, please leave your what if suggestions in the comments. Now, just so you know, if you want to ask him for video game powers, I don't care what video game it is. I'll research said video game and give it to him, like, what if Deku was a conduit? I still don't really understand that much about it. I'm still sort of researching it, so that's one of the other reasons I kind of wanted to hold it off. So, only thing I can assure, like, full series is instead of one-shots for when I'm bored. I'll probably, like, I don't know, maybe do a one-shot every Friday, but probably not. But anyway, if your what if gets elected, I will tell you when I hopefully will have it out, or just not tell you when I'll have it out. I'll just tell you it'll be done. Now, this thumbnail was made by me. The pictures were not. I want to say that my friend, actually, I sent him to my YouTube channel, as it was kind of like exchange. He gave me his, I gave him mine, and he thought I created the pictures, and I had to tell him no. I don't know how he got that messed up. But anyways, What If Deku Was a Villain Part 2 will be out this Friday. Either I'll have it recorded on Thursday, so it'll be out either Thursday or Friday. So we start off in the Seven Deadly Sins world, and yes, the ship's gonna be Elizabeth. Don't ask, okay? It's what if Deku was Meliodas. It's not what if he was the reincarnation. I don't understand that spelling error. They say, what if Deku was Meliodas? And then says, oh, he's the reincarnation of Meliodas. It makes no bloody sense. It makes no sense, mate. Alright, anyway. So, Meliodas is panting. With lost vein in hand. Just panting. Standing across from him is a man in a black cloak. No, don't. I know what a few of you guys were thinking as soon as I said dark cloak. It's not number 13. It's not Organization 13. It's just a man in a black coat. As Meliodas would then proceed to say, why do you care so much about stopping me? I can clearly see you're not a demon, nor a goddess. As the man in the dark cloak would say, simple. I'm bored. And what better way to, relieve boredom than killing a bunch of powerhouses? Oh, it'd be so fun. The only problem is I know you're immortal because of your father. Oh well. It'd be fun while I get to kill you. And maybe your little girlfriend over there too. As he would then proceed to look at Elizabeth, as Meliodas would then say, not on my watch. As his demon mark would appear, as he would then proceed to teleport behind the cloaked figure and slash lost vein, but the cloaked figure would just dodge it easily without even a scratch. As he would then just spin kick Meliodas into a wall. As he would then say, it was fun while it lasted. As he held up his hand and clenched his fist, as Meliodas would feel his bones shatter, but they weren't healing. As he would then raise his hand up into the air, as a lightning spear would appear, as he would throw it into one of Meliodas' hearts. Meliodas realized it hurt. It hurts worse than what it did the first time when what's his name again? Esterosa, I'm pretty sure. Been a while since I watched the anime. Season 5 is fire. Anyways, so the cloaked figure created another lightning spear and threw it into the second heart, as it would hurt again. As he would then hold both his hands up, as 2 lightning spears would come, and 2 of his other hearts would be pierced. As he would then say, "How does it feel, slowly dying in front of the one you love?" You know, as he would then create a lightning spear and throw it behind him, hitting Elizabeth in the heart, killing her. As Meliodas would be pissed, as he would try to activate his demon mark, he would try to forcefully go back into assault mode, as this is after Meliodas got out of assault mode and regained control over himself. But it's not following the events of canon from here. I'll go ahead and explain. Once Meliodas got out, it goes to normal until like 5 months later, and Cloaked Figure appeared and started beating Meliodas to the ground. That's how that went. So that's how this all started. As he would then look back at Meliodas, as Meliodas would be crying, as his demon power wouldn't open, and he just saw the one he cared about most die in front of him again. As the masked man would then create 20 spears, as all of them would then pierce Meliodas, destroying the rest of his hearts as well. As Meliodas would wake up in a white room, he would be, where am I? This isn't hell or purgatory. As he would then hear someone behind him say, Meliodas. As he would then look behind him to see Elizabeth, as he would run up to Elizabeth and hug her, crying. As he then heard someone talk, stop with the silly reunions. It would have happened again if I didn't intervene anyway. As they would both look at him and both be questioning him. Who are you? Both stuttering. As he would then say, you could just say I'm the god over all. Basically, I could destroy both the Supreme Deity and the Demon King if I wanted to, but I'm not allowed to. Heck, I'm even more powerful than the Chaos King. Or, who do you guys know him as now? Arthur, I'm pretty sure. As they would be like, what? I'll let my power be revealed. Only you two will sense it. So he lets a small portion of his power, and it put them both to the ground. As the entire room started shaking, as he would then seal it back inside of himself, was this god, the person claiming to be the god that's more powerful than the Chaos King. And he then just concealed the energy, and they realized he's not kidding. And that was only 1% of my power. 1 freaking percent. And I won't even lie to you guys. That was only 0.00000.1% of my power. As both of their eyes would be wide open. As they would be like, what the hell is this guy? As Meliodas would then say, I guess he's not lying. As Elizabeth would just nod in agreement. So, since I have basically the power to do anything, I'll give you two a deal. How about I send you both to a different world? Sure, you've both seen enough in this. It's normally my job to go ahead and end the lives of poor souls. But you guys and your damn magic and curses. Hell, at least the world I'm willing to send you to can't freaking reanimate the dead or bring them back to life. and they are both like, "What do you mean?" As he would then explain that he would be sending them to a world, a kind of the same Earth, but different, where it's millions, no trillions of years in the future. No, just millions. And that in their world there's a power called quirks that 90% of the population is born with. That's all carried over and unique. As he would then say, one of the benefits for going, you'll both be put in the same both put in the same general location, and your curses will be removed. The cons are, you will probably have to go through a normal kid's life. Another thing, you will both be born into a different family. You guys will still go by your normal names, as I'll be assured of that. I'll be assured of that you guys will get your same names, no matter what. As they said, they could be worth it. We could finally achieve what we've been fighting for 3,000 years. As they would both agree. As he would then, good choice. Hey, you might even let your friends come see you at some point. As he would then snap his fingers, as their vision would go white. As Meliodas would then wake up in a woman's arms, as she would be kind of crying, and say, "Hello, my baby boy." That would then a doctor would come in and say, "Inko Midoriya, we are happy to say that your son's in full health. So, what you gonna name him?" She was then thinking of Izuku, but then this god interfered. Not the actual god. No, the person that sent them here would then interfere with her mindset and make her think Meliodas. As she would then say, Meliodas. As he would think, odd name, but okay. As you guys will not figure out who, Elizabeth is until, later. And they have all their memories, all their abilities. As Meliodas would be sort of happy. He'd feel a warm feeling around her, something that he only felt around Elizabeth. He knew he didn't love her like he did Elizabeth, but he felt some sort of connection. But he couldn't pin it down. Over time, he would grow up. He's now 3 years old, and he knows what the concepts of this world are. He's been writing notebooks about heroes and their quirks, and already is at that notebook's already at the point that it is in canon when it got blown up. Meliodas would then begin to start training a bit, as his weak body, sure, he can access his powers, but can his body handle it? So he starts training, and yes, he does have yellow hair and his normal eye color. He is basically Meliodas, just his full name is Meliodas Midoriya. As he would be training and training until he could handle the first form of his demon mark. As his life would go to normal. But when he turned 4, his mother told him he had to go to school, as he would oblige, as he learned what the concept of a family is. He learned what a mother means, and still basically didn't understand it, but he still always felt a warm feeling around her. As he would go to school, and the day would go to normal. He'd meet Bakugo, and also a white-haired girl who just kept to herself, and really didn't talk to anyone, but when she did, she was incredibly nice. As when he was called up to introduce himself, he said, "Hello, my name is Meliodas Midoriya." As the white-haired girl would hear this, and she'd be like, "Meliodas? You're..." As you could basically see sparkles in her eyes as she would run up to him saying, "Meliodas!" As he would say, "Elizabeth?" As he would then hug her back, saying, "It's been a while, old friend." As a black-haired girl in the back of the classroom would be questioning as her sister, Elizabeth Yaoyorozu, never had any other friends, but she guessed there's something she likes to keep secret, or maybe just never told her about, or maybe he did something for her. As that day would go like this, he would meet Bakugo, and they would become decent friends, but Bakugo still being arrogant since he unlocked his quirk yesterday. But everyone... Oh god, I dropped my phone. Sorry. I dropped my phone. Damn it. Damn it, damn it. Bakugo would get his quirk 2 days early from everyone. So he would be a bit arrogant, but not really, as he's still wary that someone's quirk could be stronger than his, but just hasn't been awakened yet. Because in my eyes, I think the only reason he got that cocky is because he saw that no one else's quirk was stronger than his. So, when Izuku or Meliodas would walk home, he would saw that his door's wide open, as he would walk in and the place is completely trashed. As he would see his mother's room door open, or slightly cracked, as he would slowly walk up. As he would open the door, to see his mother shot in the head, lying on the ground, dead. As Izuku would then fall to his knees, and he would start, or Meliodas would. He would start crying, screaming, and the neighbors heard this and they called the police. As Meliodas' demon mark started to appear, and when the police and heroes got there, they saw it. As Meliodas started to lose control, as his entire body got surrounded in darkness. As it would then a alarm would go off in the nearby town saying, "Warning, nuke lock detected. High level threat detected." As the heroes would say, "Run, run, run!" As then a large beam of darkness would just surround the entire complex, everyone managing to get out safe. As when it would finally stop, they would see a boy with yellow hair and dark wings flying in the middle of a massive crater, just looking down and seeing lava, molten lava, just start turning to stone. As he would be mad, Meliodas would be crying. The heroes would be like, "Is that his quirk? Or is it part of it?" As Izuku would then go to the edge, crying. As he would be mad, he would start punching the ground, making large craters, causing the nearby town to crack, and causing it to have one large crack through it. Not enough to hurt anyone, but just sort of noticeable one. So he would then continue punching the ground as All Might would walk up to him and grab his hand. "What happened, kid?" As Izuku would sort of come down and explain. As All Might would feel bad for him, as he knows what it's felt. And this, we don't know what happened to All Might's mother, let's be honest. So I'm just gonna say he had to watch his mother get killed by villains. All Might would understand how this feels. But he didn't lash out as much, but he thinks since Izuku, or Meliodas, is only 4, he couldn't control it. So, All Might personally took him to the quirk doctor to get his quirk established. As when he was asked to evaluate his quirk, he would say, darkness. As that would be his quirk name. As the next day, Elizabeth would come in and get her quirk evaluated as pure light. As that would be how they would explain how they could manipulate darkness and whatever. How Elizabeth could manipulate light and Meliodas could manipulate darkness, as it would be the only way to explain it. Or you could just say shadow manipulation and light manipulation. You could just call it that. That's what their quirks are called. Or darkness manipulation. I don't know. It doesn't have the same ring to it, but anyway. As Meliodas would grow up in an orphanage. For 3 years, he was alone in the orphanage, and he was going to school, talking to Elizabeth, mainly always sad except for when he's with Elizabeth. As someone would come and apply for adoption for Meliodas Midoriya. As it would be a scrawny man. It would be a scrawny, skinny man named Toshinori Yagi. As he would gain custody over Midoriya, and he would take care of him. The reason he couldn't immediately, because he wanted to, knowing that he could be the next successor of One for All, and that if this power becomes villainous, it could destroy everything that the heroes have tried so hard to build. So he would finally gain custody over Midoriya. But he would be a kind and just that one awkward father, as he would train Midoriya, as Meliodas would know that his father, or what is now his father, was All Might, as he was happy not to be bound by the shackles of saying, oh, my father's the Demon King, and now he could just say, my father's All Might. And it could also be more explainable since his hair is yellow along with All Might's. So his name also got changed to Meliodas Yagi, as Midoriya still wanted to keep that one side of his mother, instead of completely changing his name. Well, he couldn't change his name, or else it would basically be like giving up. It would basically just be giving up his entirety of his past life. As we are going to skip to when Izuku is 10, as his father, All Might, would then tell him that about his quirk and ask him if he wanted to inherit it. As at first, Meliodas was thinking it could be useful, but shouldn't he give it to someone else? As he then realized, oh, so he needs a successor for his quirk, I'm guessing, and he can't find anyone worthy, as Meliodas would accept to take the power. But when he ingested the DNA, the quirk came on immediately, making his demon mark appear all over his body, bursting him into the form you see on screen, and the outlines of the shadows would be completely red, like what Midoriya's, what that X looks like, but the outlines are completely red, and his eyes are bloodshot red, or the outlines of his eyes are red. As the red would start to grow a bit more, as it would envelop the entirety of the shadow, as the shadow would become reddish purple, and so would his eyes. Or the shadow would become more reddish purple, now that I think about it, as he is now infused with One for All. So now he's in school. Everyone knows that him and Elizabeth are friends, best friends, but none of them know they're dating. Yet. You know, they're never gonna find out because the only relevant people is Momo. Yeah, she's in the class, because who else would be, Elizabeth Yaoyorozu's sister? That's stupid. I don't remember the Yaoyorozus having any other kids. Anyways, so Momo knows about the relationship, but the only relevant people there are Bakugo, who isn't a total dick, since Izuku is there to put him in his place at any time, and Izuku's already been declared the strongest person in the academy. Heck, probably the strongest non-hero in the region. Or the small region, the town they live in. As it would be the end of the day, as Elizabeth and Meliodas decided to walk home together, as their house was generally in the same direction. We're gonna say that. As Momo would tag along with them. As they're walking under a bridge, as it's a shortcut, but it's also gonna go by the massive crater. As they would see the crater, and Meliodas would then begin to look down and say, "I'm sorry." As Elizabeth would, without knowing this happened, would look at Meliodas and look at the massive crater and remember what happened in Danafall, and then hug him and say, "It's not your fault. It's not your fault." As Meliodas has this one goal: find the person who killed his mother and avenge her. By not killing them, but at least sending them to prison with a few broken bones. That's his goal right now. As let's talk about the reason why someone would want to kill her. Her quirk. Her quirk was telekinesis, but it was a lot stronger. It was full-blown telekinesis, like that one telekinesis hero from One Punch Man. So, can that explain why someone would want her dead, or maybe to possibly steal her quirk? Yeah, you know who killed her now. Okay. And the only way to make it look like someone, that it wasn't him, he shot her in the head with a gun he just happened to, get. Yeah. As they would continue walking, as they would walk under a second bridge, as a sludge villain would appear out, as it would start attacking them, trying to take one of their bodies, but Meliodas wasn't having it, as he just punched the air with a bit of One for All. When he's not activating both of them, it's just One for All who shows. If he activates his demon mark, they'll both show no matter what. As he just activated One for All 1%, as he can handle 40 billion%, as he just punched the air. You know what, take that back. He can only handle about 40, as the powers, the demon mark is sort of rejecting it, so he's not allowed to get anywhere past 50%. But the cap right now is 40, but he's not going to get that last 50% because, I want to make the story interesting and not fly by making him stupidly overpowered. So, he would then burst as All Might would come through, and Izuku would say, "Oh, hey All Might," as he wouldn't address him as dad because no one knows he's the adopted son of All Might. Elizabeth knows this, but no one else. As he would then say, "Oh, hello, young Meliodas. How's your day been?" As Momo would be like, "Wait, what, you know him?" As Deku would then say, "Yeah, we bumped into each other once. He's actually the person who helped me a few years ago when the incident happened." As he would look behind him at the massive crater. Just the massive crater. As the lava's already completely gone down there, so don't worry. As he would then say, "Well, have a nice day. I'm gonna gather this villain and take him to the police station or prison." as Meliodas would then say, okay, as Meliodas is also not a pervert, as his mother Inca, while she was alive, would teach him correctly, unlike whoever the hell taught him perversion to be perverted, unless he taught himself that. Let's just say Inco broke him of that habit. Now he's just that one person that will only really be perverted to one, either piss someone off or flirt with Elizabeth, because I'm not giving you any other ships, so don't even ask. As it would come to the start of the 10 months, as not Izuku, damn it. Well, technically Izuku, but his name is Meliodas now. Meliodas would be training with Elizabeth as they'd be sparring a bit. Meliodas, of course, holding back a lot, as she would still find it weird that the color of his markings have changed over all these years she's known him with them. As Meliodas would win 200-0, as he would then start to help Elizabeth train and get more power, as he would sort of understand the light power over all his years slaying them. So he would teach her a advanced arc, just a massive and more effective one that would hurt someone and not kill them, but just paralyze them. And he's only explaining this of how he saw other angels do it. So he'd also explain the advanced healing technique he saw a few angels do. He tried to explain it as best as he saw he could, and she would sort of learn it, but she would practice on her own to get it. So it would be the end of the 10 months, and they would go to the entrance exam. Meliodas can right now handle 50% of one for all, but we're going to say he's only the 5th user. Yes. I'm making one for all weak as. Don't forget it, he can only deal 45% no matter what, and it's 45% isn't enough to 45% is not enough to beat a Nomu. You know what, it's not even enough to beat Muscular. We're gonna say that. Because, think about it, he need 1,000,000% to beat him. But then again, he's not Almighty. So, most of it would go to Ken. However, he wouldn't be mumbling. But when it came to the written exam, Meliodas would ace it because he's got a crap ton of knowledge about this world and history. So, a few of the properties, maybe a few things from his world are the same here. So, anything he saw familiar, he could just immediately tell what they are. But a few of the things he did, but he 100 the test, along with Elizabeth, as let's admit, she's probably one of the smartest people in Seven Deadly Sins. Let's be honest. I mean, yeah, let's seriously be honest here. Now, it would come to the practical exam, as Meliodas and Elizabeth would be put on the same aim team. As Meliodas would go to walk up to Elizabeth, and a boy named Ida would say, "Don't mess with her unless you want to make her fail. If you want to, you should leave here. You should leave here because you don't deserve to be a hero." As Meliodas would then say, "I'm sorry, but that's my girlfriend." As he would know the meaning of all of these words by now, if he didn't already, as it's now known between. It's now, as Ida would then say, "Oh, sorry." As Ida would just be exterish and go back to his spot, as he would go up to Elizabeth and kind of straighten her mind, because she was a bit nervous, as as the doors would open, as President Mike would yell, "Go," as Meliodas would then teleport, or basically seemingly teleport, and his demon mark would activate. reddish purple flames would then begin to surround him, as no one wanted to go near it, as they thought that was a squirt, as it started spiraling up into the air, as it then dispersed, showing Meliodas in assault mode, as he then started teleporting all over the place, and he's controlled it so well, he still has control over his emotions and not completely heartless. So he's just teleporting everywhere, destroying the monsters, as he would then raise his hand and summon Lost Vein, as he would start slicing through them. And then, once he got 200 points, he sat on the roof of the building, screaming to everyone, "Hey, I've got my points. Go ahead and get yours. I don't want to take everything." As they would start running. But everyone else would get the same points, as Elizabeth would get 250 points, the exact same as, well, let's say Meliodas got 255 and Elizabeth got 250. As the 0-pointer would come up, as Elizabeth, it was made of reinforced titanium this time. Let's just say they had a spare one for reinforced titanium, a lot more durable and a lot more strong, in case a student, a powerhouse like All Might, ever showed up, or one potentially stronger, as it would be Elizabeth who's stuck under the rock this time, as she can get it off her, but it's the robot who's about to step on her, and she can't get out of the way in time, as Meliodas would then actually teleport with darkness, as he would appear in assault mode, as he would then kick the robot into the sky, as he would then turn into darkness, or seemingly a blur, as a beam of darkness would go through the 0-pointer, as he would start swirling around it, going through it, kind of like what Heliod from Hunter x Hunter did. It just basically destroying it, as when he stopped and landed in front of the front gate, where Elizabeth is already there since he teleported her, the robot blew up behind him, making him look like a complete badass. As they would leave, as it would be declared that the Group F, that the City F test was over, as they would have all seen, everyone from every fake city would see this massive explosion, as they'd be like, "What the hell is that?" As Bakugo would just be, "Damn, Izuku, showing off again. Oh well, it's not like anything I can do about it. He'll kick my ass if I try anything." As a few people heard this and get kinda scared, but be like, "Well, this kid talks so highly of him. He's probably strong. Let's just hope he's nice and not psychopathic." As they would get in, as it would be their first day, as, let's say, who the hell is going to be replaced? Now, I'm not replacing Mineta, because I've got some in store for him. I've got some big, juicy plans for him. Big, juicy fat with, Punch to his FACE from MEALIODAS. So you get what I mean. I want drama. So sorry, Hakagure. We know how much there's a few people who like you, but in honest, I really don't care. And most of the time, I forget you're there. Or you could say it's like most of the time, you're a ghost. As we'll put Hakagure in Class 1B and just get rid of Monoma. You know what? We'll just get rid of random Class 1B. That one nature girl, yeah, she's going to a different Class 1, that, Class 1C. Yeah, Class 1C. And let's just say they had an open spot, since I'm nice, but let's get into it. As Mineta would be perving. Actually, wait, hold that off. As it would go to canon, as he would meet Ida again, as he would say, "I'm sorry about it. I wasn't aware that she was your girlfriend." as Meliodas would then be like, "It's fine. You were only trying to do what was right. If I were you, I'd probably do the same thing." As he would be in his mind being like, "Psych, absolutely not." As Aizawa would then wake up saying, "You're being too loud. Hurry up and put these. Go to the locker room and change, and come outside. We have a quirk assessment test." As they would go, as Meliodas would then see Mineta saying, "Hey, Kaminari, look what the second years left us. Or look what the second years left for us first years." As he would then point to a people, as Meliodas would see this, knowing Elizabeth is on the other side of that wall, as he would then look at Mineta and be like, "I wouldn't look at that if I were you. I wouldn't look in that if I were you." As he would then look at him saying, "Oh yeah? What you gonna do to stop me?" As Meliodas would then teleport behind Mineta, kicking him into the other side of the room, not breaking the wall, but knocking Mineta out for a bit. As he would then be like, "What the?" As he would then scream through the hole, "Hey, one of you cover up this small hole. Oh, this great pervert here was trying to peep through." As the girls would hear this and be like, "Thank you," as some of them would scream, some of them would say thank you, as Elizabeth would be like, "Meliodas, can I slap him, please?" As she'd be like, "I will not accept anyone else to be able to do that to me except for Meliodas." Let's be honest. Elizabeth is a simp for Meliodas. She doesn't show it, but she is a simp. As they would go outside, Meliodas would be called at first. He shoots it into the atmosphere and only gets tied with not Meliodas. How can Meliodas get tied with Meliodas? They're the same people. He gets tied with Elizabeth and Uraraka. Overall, he gets first place, with Elizabeth either tying with him all the time or just being the second place. As the person getting expelled is Grape Boy. Okay. As Hakaguri would get moved back up into class 1A. Yay! Now you see what I was doing. That's all I wanted to do to Mineta. As that is where I'm going to be leaving it off. Sorry if I didn't go as fast as you guys would have liked. I just wanted to explain most of the backstory. See ya.